Hey chocolate friends, Carla here with Opening Chocolate. Today I am bringing you a chocolate maker that has been based in two different countries. So they started in China, but they're now in the US. So this company is Kessho Chocolate, and they specialize in making flavors that are Asian based. So the ones that I have today, I have their plain 58% dark milk. I have their Yuzu bar. I have their boba tea bar. Their black sesame bar. And this one, lamb skewer. So I'm excited to try some of these with you today. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the company. So like I said, this company, Kessho, started in 2018 in Shanghai, China by the co-founders were Liang, Wang, and Huetsch. Mark, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I also have a German last name and it's mispronounced all the time. So you never know how it's going to be pronounced. So I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Liang has a bachelor's in science in biology. Mark has a bachelor's and a master's from Stanford in computer science and Chinese is what he studied. Liang is from Beijing. Mark is from the US Midwest. So how did they meet? So Mark was actually over in China studying on a study abroad, studying Chinese, when they met. And Liang had just left her consultant position at McKinsey, and Mark was in a position, as often happens when you travel abroad for extended periods of time or move to a new country, where you're craving food from home. And Mark was craving some dessert food from home, but specifically pies. He had grown up with his grandma and learned to bake from her, and so he started making pies. And this turned into a business in 2009 called Pie House, where they were selling American flavors like banana cream and apple pie to the people in Shanghai. It eventually switched over into a company called Pantry's Best, which they still run in China today, which is it's a web-based bakery that delivers all over Beijing and Shanghai. They make Western style sweets, but they also incorporate Asian flavors into their American desserts. So with Kessho, they've kind of flipped that. So now they're in the US and they're incorporating their Asian flavors into the chocolate. So it's kind of interesting how they're kind of doing it in both countries. Let me tell you what. Okay, so the first time, Liang told me that the first time that she experienced bean to bar chocolate was at a yoga retreat in India. She went to this little store near the retreat, bought some chocolate, 70% chocolate that the owner had told her was very good chocolate, very, very fine chocolate, the best chocolate. And when she had tasted it, it had these tropical fruit flavors, the flavors that you get in a really good 70% chocolate. And this was amazing to her because she had never experienced, it wasn't just your fudgy, creamy milk chocolate that most people are familiar with, that she was familiar with. And so this kind of sparked some things, and she went back and got some more, and then she talked to the shop owner about where the beans came from and how they did it, and got more and more interested in it. Her and Mark took a chocolate workshop from Mason and Co. And then they basically started by trial and error. Now, prior to this, a lot of years as though they've been running the Pantry's Best before this, so it's been going for almost 8-9 years now. She had gone to Liang had also gone to Tokyo to go to the Cordon Bleu school there to study pastry and bakery. So when she first started, when they first co-founded the Pantry's Best Pie House, then Pantry's Best, Mark was the one that had taught her some baking skills, but she took it further and went to the Cordon Bleu in Tokyo and really studied up on her pastry and baking skills. So the pastry business, the Pantry's Best that they have, is still running in China. Started with 2 people. Now they have over 500 employees, or almost 500 employees, around there. They began to tinker around. So after they came back from India, they began to tinker around with roasting cacao and making cacao and finding good beans. They've actually visited some of you may have heard of origin beans coming out of Hainan, China. They are still pretty rare getting to the global north or the Western world versus Asia. They did get some of those beans. They've visited the site. They went there and visited. So they've worked with those beans before, but they do not use those beans in the bars that I have. I believe at least one of them is Cocoa Camellia. I'd have to look and see what the other ones are. What else can I tell you? So, yeah, I think that's it. So what we'll do is, I think today I've had this black sesame one before. I'm going to open it and show it to you because it looks cool. But I think today I'm going to taste this one. And maybe the yuzu bar too. I don't know. Maybe lamb skewer. We'll see how it goes. So let's flip the camera around and open up some chocolate and try it. All right, so like I mentioned, their bars are they're bringing Asian flavors into their bars. So today I'm going to try boba tea. If you don't know what boba tea is, it's usually a cold drink where it's a mix. It can be almost anything these days. So it can be a mix of fruit, milk, tea, all kinds of things, sugar syrup, and then in the bottom or added to the drink, you get boba, which are basically really big tapioca pearls. And that is what this dessert is based on. So let's take a look. So the name Kessho comes from, it's a Japanese word. It's based on, so Liang is from Beijing, but her grandmother is from Japan, and her grandmother traveled all around teaching English. And so this is named kind of in homage to her grandmother. Kessho in Japanese means crystal, and that refers to the crystalline structure in chocolate that we get that nice temper. But in a deeper meaning, it also means fruit from hard work. So if you've ever tried to make chocolate, you know that chocolate making, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So this is the fruit of their hard work. So we've got the boba tea. It's a 44% cacao. It's a milk chocolate. We have the beans coming from Ecuador. Let's flip it over. Made in Austin, Texas. Oh, I didn't tell you. So in 2022, they moved to Austin, Texas from Shanghai. You know what was going on in 2022. Travel between China and the United States just became really difficult, and that was part of the reason for the move. Okay, so they're taking black tea, Ecuadorian beans, and brown sugar. So this is a play on the brown sugar boba. All right, tasting notes. So I expect this one to be fairly sweet because the drink itself is fairly sweet. Oh, nice. So they've got the steps in making chocolate over there. They've got some information about their cacao beans. Oh, that's interesting that they include that. Let's see how we look. Oh, gorgeous. Beautiful mold. So it's always a choice whether you want to make your fold like this and you open up to the back, or make your fold so that you open up to the front. With this beautiful mold, I'm not surprised that they are folding it that way. So can you see? Look at how it reflects, the shape of the mold reflects the light. It looks gorgeous. It's nice and shiny. There's no mold release marks. It looks like it's in temper. It's a milk bar, so when I snap it, I don't expect much of a snap, but let's see. Feels like it might have a little bit of a snap to it. Oh, it's pretty soft. Wow. But when I break it, wow, the aroma that's coming out. Okay, that smells really good. I don't even have to warm it up. Normally, you guys know that I rub my thumb on here to warm up the cocoa butter and release some volatile aromatics, but I can already smell it. Like holding it a foot away from my face, I can smell the boba flavor, the black sugar, yeah, I can definitely smell it. So I'm still gonna warm it up and put it right up to my nose and see what orthonasal smells I can get, and then I'm gonna taste it and I'll come back and talk to you about it. All right, so this one it's interesting because, like I said, when I snapped it open, I immediately get the black sugar, brown sugar, caramelly notes that I associate with boba. But when I taste it, I of course get the nice fudgy milk chocolate. There is some sweetness, but it's not the same sweetness as the smell. It's different. It's not as sweet. It's not like cloyingly sweet like sometimes a boba drink can be, but I do really get the black tea. There is a definite black tea note in there. You get the caramel. The black tea lingers in the aftertaste, not in a pleasant way. There's a little bit of almost an underlying licorice anise note in there. Boba in general is a pretty neutral flavor. It's like whatever you make it with, it takes on that flavor. But this is nice. I like this. That's a nice bar. I wanted to also show you this one. This one is their black sesame bar. This is a white chocolate based bar, so this won't have any of the cocoa solids in it. It's got cocoa butter, sugar, milk, two kinds of milk powder actually, and black sesame. It looks really nice. I've seen this bar before. It looks gorgeous. And you can see their wrappers are all kind of on flavor, so they kind of give you the idea about the flavor that it's going to be inside. Let's see what this one looks like. Look how pretty. So I really like this mold. Gorgeous mold, the way it reflects the light when you look at it. It just looks really nice. And this is a nice bar. I enjoy this bar a lot. I might open also. All right. Yuzu or lamb skewer? Let's do it. I know what yuzu tastes like. Yuzu is just a type of citrus, Japanese citrus. Let's try lamb skewer. Let's look at the ingredients, you guys. Whole cacao beans, sugar, cacao butter, goat milk, cumin, and chili. Uh-oh, it's gonna be spicy. All right. So this is a cacao-based bar. It's a milk bar made with goat milk. Again, beautiful looking bar. Aroma is cumin. Yep, definitely strong cumin aroma coming out of it. Let's take a little taste. Okay, this is a unique bar for sure. So the aroma is definitely cumin, mild chocolate. When you taste it, you get the goat milk funk, if you know what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of acidity. I don't know if that's coming from the goat milk or the cacao. but it's just a tiny bit of balanced acidity in there. The cumin is more of a retronasal flavor versus a tongue taste. It's kind of in there when you're breathing in and chewing. And the chili doesn't come until almost the very end, and you've cleared the chocolate out of your mouth and it's still there. Now, I'm a big spice wimp. To me, this is not, for me, this would be a mild spicy. So for a lot of people, it would be very, very low spice. I'm very sensitive to spice. So such an interesting bar. Yeah. All right, let's flip the camera and finish up. Okay, so that was a fun tasting. So much fun to taste such unique flavors. I mean, I can taste, there's so many makers out there that are doing good 70% bars. There's even more that are doing mediocre 70% bars. I can taste 70% bars all day, but I'm also interested in makers who are pushing boundaries on what we think goes with chocolate and creating new flavors that are delicious and appealing. So I really enjoyed tasting these bars. Let me tell you one more thing about their move, Kessho's move to Austin. So when they went to Austin, they were warned that it was going to be hot, hot, hot. So Shanghai is hot. They got a lot of humidity. They got heat. But Austin is hot, especially summer of 2023, super hot. So they ran into problems with bloomed and melted chocolate when they got to Austin. And so using their background in pastry and bakery and everything that they've been doing overseas, they decided to open a food truck and make gelato and baked goods with the melted and bloomed chocolate. So you can get cookies with their flavors. You can get the gelato with all these flavors. So I actually saw that she has introduced 2 new bars this year. She's got the lychee rose, which looks delicious, and also the salted plum. Salted plum is a pretty, I've had that because I believe it's the same as Liang in Hawaii. So I think it's the same thing. And so I'm familiar with that flavor. I really like that flavor, and I'm looking forward to trying those 2 bars as well, because I think they'll be super interesting and delicious. So they have a food truck now in Austin. So if you're in Austin, you can go and get some gelato and chocolate chip cookies and all the different flavors. I'm pretty sure she makes a cookie with the black sesame bar in it. So yeah, check it out if you're in Austin. She's often at chocolate festivals, so make sure that you look for Liang when you go to your next chocolate festival. So that's Kessho Chocolate's friends. Thanks for coming along on the journey. If you have tried some unique chocolate or have a maker you want me to check out, let me know down in the comments. And until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.